Jerry Mallory here, SBNationPrivateDetroit.com. Raise your hand if you thought the Detroit Lions would end this year out of the playoffs. Well, some of you thought that. Now, raise your hand if you thought they would wind up winning 4 games and losing 12. Nope, I don't see anybody. I don't think any of us expected us to be this bad this year. Those that maybe called into radio stations or posted comments on Private Detroit's message board, when they said they would struggle, I heard some 7-9s, some 8-8s. I heard a few 6-10s. Didn't hear many 4-12s. Yet still, this is where we are. They have the number 5 pick in the NFL draft. And so far, there has been no major changes in terms of coaching, general managers, or even coordinators. We've lost some position coaches. You've got Yarno, you've got Gash, you've got Jefferson. And the offense does need a change. Today, we're going to look at that offense a little bit more in depth. You know, we're used to this here in Detroit. The offseason is not really an offseason for us. We focus so much time on NFL drafts, free agency, trades, because, let's be honest, for almost a decade, if not more, we have been in a position where the actual season meant a lot less because we were out of contention about 10 to 11 weeks in. And this was the case, I would say, after week 10, 11, we kind of saw how things were going down the drain for our Detroit Lions. So we're going to have plenty of videos, several a week like always. Let's look at this offense right now, and then we'll get into a litany of things. What we're going to do is give you some awards, year-end awards, like anyone deserves one except for Calvin, but we're going to do that. We'll talk about free agency, the draft, the mocks, all that's going to happen. Let's look at this offense. One thing that stuck out to me as I was looking at the successful teams this year, I was looking at statistics. Top 3 passing teams in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints, us, the Detroit Lions, and third, the Dallas Cowboys. What do all these teams have in common? They are all going to be doing the same thing that I'm going to be doing this weekend, watching NFL playoff teams play, not participating themselves. Top 3 rushing teams in the NFL. Washington Redskins, Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks. They're all in the playoffs. This is a passing league, but when you're able to run the ball effectively, which the Lions were not able to do this year, you control the clock. There's no surprise that all 3 of these teams have very stout defenses, and a lot of those games where the Lions could not get the job done. They had a lead and they blew it. They need to get one more first down because it was 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 5 because the run was effective or ineffective. See, those situations where the run wasn't there, these are the reasons why we wound up 4-12. Now, you might be saying, Jerry, wait a minute. Those top rushing teams, you've got Washington, who has a rushing quarterback in RG3. You've got Minnesota, who has the best running back we've seen since Barry Sanders. And you've got Seattle, who has another quarterback that's mobile. The Lions don't have that. We're not going to get the next Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders. So what are you talking about? I know, I get it. We don't have to be a top 3 rushing team in the NFL to return to glory. But we have to get a little bit better. We're 23rd in the league this year. We have to crack the top half of the league. If we can hit number 12, number 13, and keep the passing game still in the top 5 to 6 range, we're doing great. We don't have to be a top 3 running team to make the playoffs. But a theme you're going to hear me say and talk about this whole offseason is what we have to do to return to the playoffs. One thing is reach the top half in rushing. 2 things are going to be needed for that. We need a speed back. I don't know why Mayhew did not address it during the offseason or during the draft. We knew Javid Best was hurt. I mean, did they really think he was going to come back? Even if you had a chance and then you had a hope that he would come back, you would have thought they'd have brought in somebody, somewhat of a home run threat, but it never happened. Doesn't have to be a top tier guy. We'll talk about options down the road, but we need someone with speed to accompany Drake Bell and Mikael Short. I like a 3 running back tandem. We need our Darren Sproles. We have our Pierre Thomas and our Mark Ingram. Another big thing, and this is where Yarno could not get the job done. I think it's more personnel than here. George Yarno, our former offensive line coach, is we need a better run blocking offensive line. The pocket collapses even when we're passing. Stafford gets the ball out quick, so we say, yeah, he was only sacked X amount of times, so in theory, our offensive line is good at pass blocking. they are okay at pass blocking. But interior, it's very weak. The pocket collapse. See those sidearms, those crooked throws by Stafford? This is because the pocket collapses. We're not going to replace all of these guys, but Dominic Raiola, Steven Peterman, and Rob Sims, I'm talking to you. I think only one of the three will be gone. I say this because we're probably going to have a change at the tackle position. If I had to guess, Jeff Backus will be your left or right tackle next year, and Riley Reif will be the other guy at left or right tackle. Guys, the chairless is gone. I don't think you're going to replace three guys in your offensive line, so that's one change. And then I think Raiola, the smallest, shortest center in the league, will be back. But Peterman needs to be replaced. And we have to adopt a scheme that will allow us to be stronger in the trenches. But more importantly, I think it's the personnel. We'll talk a little bit more about other options because we could be having another change at tackle depending on how this draft pans out. Scott Linehan, you're still here. How much longer? We don't know. So many of us kind of feel the way I do. It's time to kind of, let this guy hit the door. But he's here, and until he's gone, we're stuck with this system. On the bright side, there is something to be said for consistency. The fact that Stafford will now be heading into another year with the same system. This will be his fourth season. The same with the offensive line and the receivers. Consistency can sometimes pay off. So if Linehan does stay, I hope he doesn't. If he does, that's one bright side. Last bit of news on the offense. Looks like Nate Burleson will be back after all. If you think about it, we have a big need at receiver. Broyles is hurt. Titus Young, will he be back? We don't know. Burleson with the leg injury, he probably has healed up quite well. And he is supposedly willing to take a pay cut. This is good news. I would love for him to come in and be our number 3 receiver. Maybe even number 2, but I'd be more comfortable if we had someone else at number 2. He'd be number 3. Broyles comes back sometime. Please don't rush him. Okay, that's all we're going to talk about for right now. Just a quick synopsis of what has happened thus far in this offseason. We have so much to talk about. We tackled offense right now. We're going to get into defense later. The draft, you name it, we're going to be talking about it. So keep watching. I want to thank each and every one of you. This was a great season. A lot of participation, lots of subscribers, and the best is yet to come. Have to throw that cliche out there. So until next time, guys, that's going to do it for me. I want to thank you for watching once again. And as always, this has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com.